going to take all the players.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to take about the 24 players he has, and there in Cameroon he is going to choose who is going to participate and who he's going to start with.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, this is very good because this means that he is like a family atmosphere, and that no one is left away. And like, for example, Mit'ab, who has been months away, he's now started to practicing with the team. Like Mohamed Barakat, who is retired and he's practicing with the team. This is Al Ahly. This is the family team, and this is the atmosphere that brings you championships in the end. And this is, I think, what Bradley is trying to copy. And if you recall, when Jose was here, he went over there and sat with Jose a lot, and he went to Hassan Shahata, sat with him a lot. This is what we need to do over here in our football for the national team or for Al Ahly, inshallah, to guarantee winning. This is the recipe for winning the African Cup and for qualifying, inshallah, for the World Cup.
Inshallah. Speaking about Mohamed Yusuf and what you were talking about, what you were saying about his choice and about that it's very good to take all those players with him there. Talking about Cameroon, it's not an easy rival.
Of course.
And now in Africa, there's no weak teams.
Yeah.
They are all that strong and that tough.
Yeah.
Yet, what are the points of strength in Al Ahly which they should progress and they should do more to focus on them in front of the Cameroonians?
The midfield, of course. The midfield is very strong in Al Ahly with Tarek Ahmed Suleiman and Abdullah Said always starting, and then now they know each other and they play with each other a lot in the Ahly or in the national team.
You know why I'm asking this question? Because all what I know mainly about the African football, they are very tough.
Yeah.
They are very strong and they are very fast in the same time.
Yeah.
How to cope with that and how to keep our fitness for the 90 minutes. I mean, I think here one of the key elements is the fitness coach.
Yeah.
In addition, of course, to the technical coach and to the head coach.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, that every player and every team has an edge. Your edge can be speed, your edge can be brains, your edge can be talented, but you can't have everything. So if you can't beat a runner, but you can outsmart him.
Yep.
But you can beat a runner. So if you run with the Africans, you lose.
Yep.
But if you plan ahead and you make several players like layers in front of the fast players, like using the slow player in the other team or the weak talented player or the weak spot in this team, you can play on this weak spot and you can win. We have, as I said, the Ahly are very strong in the midfield, on the attacking midfield, with Abdullah Said and Mohamed Abu Trika. Behind them, Osama Jour is very good, and in front of them is either Ahmed Abdul-Zahar or Dominique or any other player. They're a very good striking force, and this is what they can use against the Cameroonian team in the first leg and the second leg.
Walid Suleiman and I think Sharifi Akrami is coming.
Tarek Suleiman, yeah.
Tarek Suleiman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very nice people. I know all of them, I think, and I sat with them, and they're very calm. They're always convincing the players, and they're always like the family atmosphere I'm talking to you about.
And as you see, they are all wearing the shirts with the 72. Of course, to remind or to say that all the time that they will never forget the 72 of their fans who died in the massacre of Port Said.
If you see Sharifi Akrami, you can notice that he lost a lot of weight, and this means he's doing his best and he's practicing very well. Sharifi Akrami is a friend of mine, and I saw him when he was back from the Netherlands, and I talked to him, and I think he's the shape of a European goalkeeper. He's like the same height like Peter Cech. And he has the body form, he has the body form of a European goalkeeper. He needs just to give him trust and faith and give him more matches. And as you see, he's going up match by match.
All what you're saying is really great, but you know, to make only one shouldering the responsibility to protect the net of the national team and to be there for the very first time on the way to the World Cup, this is a very tough, big, important, critical responsibility in front of all Egyptians. I mean, he is going to think, we are human beings, he is going to think, oh, wow, if something happened, all people are going to blame me. If even it's the defense line fault, they are going to say the goalkeeper didn't do his best. You know, things like that needs, a therapy. I mean, a therapist to deal with him and to tell him, would you please focus on each match and do not think about what's going to come later.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. But whenever you do have an alternative, whenever you do have a substitute, then I think the case is a little bit lighter. If you agree with me on that.
Well, in the goalkeeper, especially, you never have two goalkeepers the same. Since maybe Ikrami and Sabit al-Batal, we never had in Egypt two goalkeepers on the same level. On the same level, when we had Ahmed Shubair, Nader Said was a lot less in experience. When Nader Said was there, Hassan al-Hadri was less experienced for a start.
But we had we had Thabit al-Batal and Ikrami, and
Yes.
this was of our best generation.
But this was a rare generation. We never had this later on. It was always, even here now in the national teams all over the world, there's always a starting goalkeeper and then the second one. And the starting keeper is always the best. So in these conditions, I trust.
You mean Italy? Then it's Buffon, Casillas when it's Real.
Well, Spain has a same exception because they have Diego Lopez and they have Casillas and they have Valdez. They are all good goalkeepers. But generally, there is always the main goalkeeper and the other one is a lot less. Here in Egypt, with these circumstances, with no football going on, with our players maybe staying at home for some teams, I trust he will pick up the best selection and the best.
You know why I'm saying that? Because it's very tough. It's very sad to see talented goalkeepers like Mahmoud Abu Saoud, for instance, or like El Shenawi, for instance. Or I hope that Mos'ad Mawad is not going to face the same fate. But you know, having names like those and to feel or to know that they are at home, that they do not practice and that they are not even professionals outside, this is very sad.
Well, for Abu Saoud or Ahli goalkeepers, they're practicing because Ahli is playing. So he's always either Abu Saoud or Adel Manam on the bench. Other goalkeepers, this is the problem of the country. This is not the problem of this player or that player. This is a problem of the country, and hopefully, inshallah, we hope that the league is back and the football goes on again and brings up more players.
You know, when you were talking about Al Ahli and how they are behaving like a family together and this love among them is one of the main reasons behind their success, you know, it attacked my mind. Then this is the main reason behind the failure of El Zamalek, the White Knights. If you agree with me, if this is true, what to do? And if the administration and what's going on inside the administrative board is that much affecting the players, what should they do? And with big names like Helmi Toulan, for instance, and to have these poor results, then what's lacking there?
Well, I think, of course, there's a problem of funding. When players don't get paid, there's always a problem because this is their way of living. And they have to take their salaries to pay their debts to sustain their families. And this is the problem in Zamalek in all teams. Number two, that I think that Zamalek didn't pick up where they left off. When Vieira came, he set some rules and they were going for everyone and the team was going good and winning, and no one can object to staying on the bench or playing for just a small period of time or whatever. When Vieira went and Helmi Toulan is back, the structure of the team changed. And a player like Muhammad Ayum was a start line up, is on the bench all the time. And Chikabala, who wasn't even allowed into the team, is now a basic player.
But I think Mohamed Ibrahim in specific was very much frustrated after the failure or after the deal with Malaga of Spain failed. So I think the psychic element here was very affecting.
Yeah, well, it
affected his attitude, it affected his performance, it affected even his even will to prove that he's that much talented.
It depends upon the player and the management, because this happened with other players. Wait, Suleiman had offers to leave the Ahli, and I know that Trezeguet had an offer from France to leave at the beginning of the season, and the Ahli refused because he needs them, and they are now praying and practicing. Even Trezeguet is not starting lineup anymore. He was with Hassan Badri, but now he isn't. But he's there and he's practicing and he's on the bench, and there isn't any problem. So this is a problem of the management and of the player himself. They should work this out together. If they don't, then there's a problem in either or both.
You know, I'm telling you this because I think this is the attitude or the way of thinking of some of the coaches. Whenever I don't want you to be there, I don't want you I don't want to start with you or to have you out of the bench, then I'm going to stay all the time this way, and I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to be that much clear in front of the agents, in front of even the fans. Like what happened with Ahmed Shinawi when he said that I'm not finding my chance here in Al Zamalek, and I'm going to return to Al Masri, even if Al Masri is not going to participate in the coming season of the Egyptian Premier League. But I'm going to search for another place rather than Al Zamalek, because with the presence of Abdul Wahid Al-Sayed, I do not have a chance.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is the way many other players, including Mohamed Ibrahim, were thinking?
Well, the goalkeeper is different from any other position. The goalkeeper is going on like the main goalkeeper plays and everyone else stays on the bench till he's injured or he receives so many goals. This is the equation.
The rule.
Yeah, all over the world. In any other position, this is not the rule. Because in a single match, I can place this player and then I can substitute and bring on other player. And a good coach uses all his elements and keeps all his players on the edge and waiting for the chance. And when they have the chance, they have to grab it.
But there is a phenomenon in Al Zamalek. You know, the players are very much talented, but they are all the time individuals. You know, whenever you are speaking about each one in names, you are going to find such a squad.
Yeah.
But on the pitch together, they are not that coherent.
Yeah. Well, because Zamalek doesn't have this set of rules.
Yeah.
The rules are not set, and they're not very obvious for everyone. And even when a coach like Vieira or Fengeda, when he came before years ago, set some rules and goes on with these rules, if he leaves, the rules leave with him. This is the problem of the team, and if the management can solve this problem, Zamalek would be fine, because they were fine with Vieira, and they were going on fine, and they played very good, and we never called that name or this name. We called the team, and hopefully, if they do this, they will go on and they will bring up back championships for Zamalek. If not, this is a team sport, then there is no team, there is no winning.
But the pressure on the players of Al Zamalek can either push them to victory or push them to be defeated. There are many sports analysts who said that the Zamalek players who were playing in front of Al Ahly were not those same persons who played in front of, I think it was Orlando, in their very last appearance in the African Champions League. They were very much relaxed. They were practicing football as if they are practicing their hobby. They are not professionals anymore, because they know that it's an academic match, meaning that whatever is the result, it's not going to affect their position, that they are out of the championship. If this is true, how I can consider them as professionals? How I can consider them as players to be responsible for carrying this name, the White Knights or Zamalek?